Hey, Brakati Hawa, Brakati Awashah, Brakati Hawa, Brakati Awashah, Brakati Hawa, Brakati Awashah, Kahalo Yahawa Bashimi Awashah. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule all over the flock. Shalom and salutation to brothers out here pushing words with truth and sincerity. Shalom. I'm Rapah Ma, and I'm getting into a little bit of the Apostle Gabar's video clip. And this is going to be a video on a mind hack or a spiritual hack, something which you could do at the end of, you know, something that I could share as a personal thing that I could share that you could use to your benefit, man. A large benefit that I've seen that worked, and this worked as of today, so it's recent. But let me play some of Elder Gabar, Apostle Gabar's video, and then I'm gonna get right into it.
They worship a so-called god named Molech. Okay, now if you can find it on YouTube, you had this character named John Todd, and he was supposed to be a manager over some company. Well, he called the company Z Records, right? But it was a major record label that he was working for. And he talked about how certain songs, before they were released to the public, the masters, okay, if you know about recording, you have something called a master. They would take the master, they would take the master into this temple, which was on the premises, this room like a temple, which is on the premises of the record label. And they would call in witches to pray over the master. So when the song is released from the master, of course, it will put a spell on the people. Okay, they would have witches come in there and pray over it. They would do a ceremony, and he mentioned a principality, which is a so-called demon god named Regia. So the point I'm making is, you got these different so-called demon gods out there.
All right, so you heard what the Apostle Gabar said about John Todd and how Esau would actually physically go in there and pray over the masters of these records, right? The master print that was they pressed some type of chemical, some type of wax, all right, to create these masters of these records, and they would pray over them. They would do seances and do spells, cast spells and witches spells over these masters, so that when they reach the people, they affect them on a physically harmful level, right? Now when you search, and I did it, does music quiet your mind? You get this. It says, an article from unr.edu says, upbeat music can make you feel more optimistic and positive about life. A slower tempo can quiet your mind and relax your muscles, making you feel soothed while releasing the stress of the day. Music is effective for relaxation and stress management. And we're going to talk about the type of stress that the Lord is going to send our way. We always prophesy about doom and destruction. How much more is the average man not going to be able to deal with the stress, but the men of the Lord are? One of the tools we have in our arsenal is music. You said slow tempo can quiet your mind. Now, the whole thing came about because usually I say my prayers early in the morning, amongst other times of the day, but I get right to it in the morning after I wake up. And I try to wake up as early as my body is ready to put me up, which is usually right before the sun comes up. And when I go to say my prayers, Akim, I got demons in my head messing with me. What I mean by that is, I got, demonic or the flesh or demonic energies. They talking while I'm sending up prayers to the Lord. They just talking. They just telling me all type of things, right? Just making noise. Like, when it comes to quieting your mind, that's really a skill that, as of earlier than yesterday, I hadn't been able to have anything against. Now, I talk over it, I pray over it, or I'll quiet down, try to wait till it go away, and then I'll pray again, or I'll just reset my, but this is a reoccurring thing. It's happened within the last 2 months. It's happened almost every day. I go to pray, and not a moment sooner do I hear anything talking to me. And that's the spirit of the Lord basically showing me that we are in a place in which, and I'm gonna get a scripture right now. This is 1 Peter 5:8. Brothers, we behind enemy lines on this thing. All right, this ain't no drill. There's an active shooter, and the active shooter's name is Esau Edom. And through many different methods, he's gonna cause for brothers to be all jacked up. All right. Now, this is 1 Peter 5, verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant. Now, word sober means alert. That means vigilant means watchful. Because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, this is the spiritual demon Satan, walketh about seeking whom he may devour, whom resist steadfast in the faith. So imagine a lion gets out, people gonna be running. People gonna be alert if you tell them there's a lion about. Be careful, watch where you're going. But it seems as if some of our people don't consider that lion, or don't be likened unto one of these men who don't consider, who settled upon their leads and believe that the evil of the Lord is not gonna come. Whom resist steadfast in the faith, knowing that the same afflictions are accomplished in your brethren that are in the world. And that's why we share with each other, because we know, brothers, y'all go through the same thing. I know I ain't crazy. Brothers done told me before that they gonna catch certain demonic energies and spirits, pressing them down in the middle of the night, holding them back, taking their thoughts and rearranging them, trying to confuse them. And furthermore, we know that music is a tool. So brothers, what I ended up doing this was the Lord that did it. I had no idea this was going to work like that, but I played some nature sounds, Aki. Early in the morning while I'm still saying my prayer, I played some nature sounds. Something sound like this. Let me play it. See if I could get it to play now. Yeah, as you can hear it, Lord willing, I played sounds like this, Aki. It was just noise though. It wasn't too much piano or nothing. Yeah, it was just rain or water flowing in the background. I didn't hear anything, Aki. I didn't hear sound. I didn't hear none of that feedback. I didn't hear none of that satanic whatever was going on in the back of my mind. My flesh was completely quiet. I send up the prayer and I was just smiling as I'm sending up the prayer, because I knew, like, wow, that did it. It was that fast. So I'm gonna continue to push for brothers to increase listening to things like this, in which this is all tools, man. If the Lord has set things like this to benefit us in the long run, do it. I'm telling you, I didn't hear one thing. So I consider that's like a mind hack right there. That's like a spiritual hack. All right, and I got it very excited about this, man. Because Lord willing, that's how I'm gonna send in my prayers, with a little background just to drown out that extra noise. And going back to the article, it says, what music relaxes the brain? It says classical is associated with the soothing, calming effect. I'm gonna throw in nature sounds, just natural sounds. Brothers, y'all probably been on this, but this is for the brothers that haven't really harnessed this yet. I'm speaking as a testimony to testify. As soon as I started playing songs like this, I couldn't hear anything, no background, no subconscious BS, nothing. It's no Satan. It says, is music good for anxiety? The studies have found that listening to music can help calm your nervous system and lower cortisol levels. Right? Cortisol is what brings you into a depressive state. Both of which can reduce stress. And the same goes for making music. Research shows that creating can help release emotion and anxiety. So not to play on this too much and too long, but let's get back into the scriptures, because in 1 Samuel's we have the more scriptural evidence of sounds being able to heal men. 1 Samuel's 16 and 14. But the Spirit of the Lord departed from Saul, and an evil spirit that from the Lord troubled him. So these evil spirits, once again, Esau, when you Google the word westernization, you go to Wikipedia and then you read about westernization, you're going to see everything played out through music, through all the mediums, through entertainment, through literature, now through TV, television, YouTube, and news. All the mediums that Esau used to push westernization, which is basically Christianity at the end of the day. You look that up on the first paragraph of Wikipedia on the westernization. So you see the evil spirit from the Lord troubled Saul, because it was Saul's time to fall and David's time to rise. So ultimately, if the Lord wants to plague men with these things as a test, he's going to do it. But he's also going to give you ways out. If you're a part of the elect. If you're not, you're going to stick you. You know? And then your cortisol levels are going to be all the way high. Verse 16 says, let our Lord now command our servants, which are before thee, to seek out a man who is a cunning player on a harp. And it shall come to pass, when the evil spirit from Yahweh is upon thee, that he shall play with his hand, and thou shalt be well. So men who was around Saul knew that his servants, Saul's servants, knew it was a good idea to get music to uproot this evil spirit about this man. And I'm telling you, if for no apparent reason, when I would sit there and say my prayers, other than Satan being as a roaring lion, seeking whom he can devour, in the flesh obviously being contrary to the spirit, noises, just all type of noises, talking, you know, against me saying the prayers up, sending prayers up to the Lord. That's spiritual, man. Now, similar situation happened with Saul, but the Lord gave him just a completely evil spirit, right? It says, so they're looking out someone to play the harp. It says, verse 17, and Saul said unto the servants, provide me now a man that can play well, and bring him to me. It says, then answered Saul, one of the servants, and said, behold, I have seen a son of Jesse, the Bethlehemite, that is cunning and playing, a mighty valiant man, and a man of war, a prudent in matters, and comely person, and the Lord is with him. Wherefore Saul sent messengers unto Jesse, and said, send me David thy son, which is thy sheep. And Jesse took an axe laden with the bread of the bottle, bread and a bottle of wine, and a kid, and sent them by David his son unto Saul. And David came to Saul and stood before him, and he loved him greatly, and he became his armor bearer. And Saul sent Jesse, saying, let David, I pray thee, stand before me, for he hath found favor in my sight. And it came to pass, when the evil spirit from Yahweh was upon Saul, that David took a harp and played with his hand, so Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. The vibration, that noise, that hurts, that sound, going into brothers and going into our spirits, can either be used for or against. The Lord has set a balance on this earth. And just like John Todd exposed that the elites or the witches and the warlocks who run the music industry would cast spells over the records for all the people to be to cause terror, to cause hatred among people, and put them at dis-ease, or the Lord will also use men and use certain sounds to cause ease This is Sirach 33 and 14. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. We at war. Remember, be sober, be vigilant. Watch, like a roaring lion, Satan's around, prowling, seeking who he can devour. We're behind the enemy lines. They're going to pull out everything. The scriptures say they shall shoot arrows at thee, right? You know, against our character, demonizing us on the media, using the same medium. Music is a medium in which they've already tapped into decades ago to utilize to fight Satan's war. Verse 15. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another. Good against evil, light against darkness, wickedness against righteousness, ease against disease. And ultimately, all these things that they're bringing out with this music is going to be a disease. So how do you use this to your advantage? Understand that there's a good to music. There's a good to these mediums. Brothers pushing these words out on the YouTube. There's a good to that. Now there's a good to YouTube. It's not just for cat videos and how to slice cheese and open our bananas the right way. It says, back in this article, it says, music is said to enhance intelligence and focus, improve mental health, and boost the immune system, as well as self-esteem and confidence. It can be used to relax, to boost or lift our mood, or to improve concentration. Well, if you just listen to a whole album of Young Thug and Gunna, Meek Mill and Lil Durk, no wonder why your moods are shitty, man. When the last time you just played some nature sounds, man? When was the last time you sent up, prayers, to help encourage you to do things more in the spirit instead of contrary to the spirit? Certain music is going to have a negative effect on you. Esau is like a roaring lion seeking who he can devour. And he's going to come through mediums in which you think is good for you, beneficial for you. You like their music, right? You got to fight the flesh. Next thing you know, you can't stay in a spiritual vibration because you're all backwards. Your cortisol levels is all high. You didn't use the world, right? Not abusing it. Use the world. There's certain things and sounds in shows that you should be watching. More shows, more studying of the scriptures. You can't do it 24/7, but you should be doing it on a regular basis. But again, something pulling you back and driving you away. You got to use these mediums that the Lord is allowing his men to be refined and refreshed and purged with. You got to use them too to your advantage. Audio, visual, all the brothers' videos, all the brothers' teaching, even sounds like this. So Lord willing, this video is edifying. Till next time, keep feeding the flock. Shalom. Above.